Hey, my name is Melody, and today I want to take you along with me as I make my first ever wedding cake. I'm first cleaning my work surface to make sure I have a good space that is ready to handle food. And I just moved, so I had to unpack my mixer, which was a bit more of a struggle than I anticipated. But hey, I'm glad it was secure in that box. So first thing, I'm sifting all of my flour, then adding to all the dry ingredients and whisking away, really making sure those are well combined as the baking girlies tell us to do. Then I'm cutting up my sticks of butter. This is just a lot easier for the mixer to handle than the full-size sticks that I used. I add my attachment. Here we go, beating up the butter, then adding in my eggs. And I'm doing my very best to make sure I don't get any shells in there because that's simply the last thing we want, and I'm personally just not a big fan of crunchy cake. This part, for no good reason, is always exciting to me. I go back and forth adding the dry ingredients, which is primarily flour, then the milk, then a little more flour, a little more milk, then keep repeating that until everything's in there. You get it. This cake was really fun because the couple wanted a heart shape. So I traced my pans on some parchment paper. I cut those out to line the bottom of the pans. Then I distribute my batter evenly. I initially only made enough batter for 2 cakes, which I would later discover was not my best choice. This cake was a journey, to say the least, and you'll see why in a second. So it's time to bake them in the oven, putting them both in there. Then what do you know, they're magically done and ready to be taken out of the oven. There's one. And there's 2. I'm gonna let these cool in the pans for a little bit. Then I'll take them out of their pans and add some of my simple syrup. I'll wrap them up and let them cool overnight. Amen. Don't worry, my hands are clean. Thank you. It's usually just a lot easier to keep my hands clean instead of changing my gloves every 5 seconds. It's just better, trust me. They did not rise very well. What? Something here is not correct. So here I am, like I said, adding my simple syrup, and this just helps keep the cakes moist, especially if I'm making them a couple days in advance. They're not gonna get crunchy in the fridge, they're gonna stay nice. I think I probably will need to make at least one more to make it a little bit taller, because this looks maybe okay, but I know once I level them out it'll be even shorter, and I don't want a short cake. That's not what we're going for here. So this will be fun. It's the next day. The cakes are all cooled from the fridge, so I take my knife and level them out before I start on my new batch of cake. God bless me, and you know what? God bless America too.
here we go, round 2. Here's the sped up version of me remaking this lovely cake. This was a while ago, so I can't remember if I tried a new recipe or just prayed a little more. I think I just prayed more and tried to be a bit more focused.
Round 2 cakes are in the oven. I prayed over them. I really hope they turn out good, or else I don't know what's gonna happen actually. I really don't. But I'm gonna wash all my utensils and bowls and such. I have my timer set. Then now I'm gonna work on the buttercream. Thankfully, they want a white cake because they're getting married. So I don't have to do any coloring except for the writing is black. And that's a time, because sometimes it doesn't want to be black. So really hopeful. So yeah. Cut. I will not be afraid. I will not run and hide. For there is nothing I can't face when God is at my side. So good. Thank you. Great news, everyone. They are already rising a lot more than the other ones. It's clear. These to me are already looking a lot better. So praise God. Hey vlog, it's me. Whoa, okay, hold on. Hey vlog, it's me. I put the simple syrup on the cakes and I wrapped them up. So now I'm gonna let them cool completely in the fridge. And let's just pray it's really fast. Okay vlog, now we're gonna make the buttercream and you'll never believe what goes in it.
Spoiler, the secret ingredient in buttercream is, well, butter. So here I am adding the butter and, you guessed it, creaming it up.
Yes, into it. It's been going for a few minutes. You can already maybe tell how it's a little bit lighter. I'm gonna scrape it down on the sides and let it go for about another 5 minutes. Thank you, Holly, for my vanilla. So whenever I put liquid in there like this, I always start it slower, then I increase the speed a little bit, just so that the liquid doesn't like fly everywhere. I also need to scrape the very bottom because a lot of times nothing will happen to whatever's on the very bottom and it'll just stay like it is, and we don't want that. So I just looked at my measurements and this is 2 pounds, which is exactly what we need for this. So that is easy because I can just put this whole thing in here little by little. Same thing with liquid, because I'm putting powder in here. I'm also going to do it like slow, on a slow speed. Now that it's in there, I'm gonna turn it up some.
Now it's icing time. This is always my favorite part because I get to assemble the cake and really make the whole vision come to life. So first, when I assemble all my layers, this is what's called a crumb coat. Then after that goes in the fridge for a little bit to harden, I add the icing on the outside, and the crumb coat just makes it smooth. I realize and also forget each time I make a heart cake that I need to get bigger cake boards and boxes, because this just does not hold all the piping and it can easily get messed up when it goes in the box, and it's simply just too much. Because of that, I used a smaller piping tip on the bottom. Then I changed that once I got to the top of the cake because there's just more room to hold stuff. I get really focused, can you tell? I also really love this vintage style of piping because you kind of just do stuff until you decide you're done. I usually practice what I'm writing and how I'm going to write it before I try it on the cake.
That looks really, really bad.
This is something I really want to grow in, but the best part is that I can always do a little eraser action and try again. Because how would they know? They'll never know. So I finished off piping the top of the cake, and I also realized I never did a proper outro for this video. So hey, thanks for watching. I hope you had fun.
Ooh, yeah, that's good. Well, folks, I think we're done. Here it is. I'm gonna take all my leftover buttercream with me so that I can add stuff or fix stuff if I need to. Kind of fun. Here it is, guys. Wedding cake in place.